This is a debrief of day 40 of my GMAT Prep. At this point, I have finished preparing for each of the 3 sections of the GMAT. My focus in the next few days is to get used to the mental shifts which you need to make as you move from one section to another and to improve my velocity and consistency where possible. In this video, I will share my learnings from 3 practice sets, one from each of the 3 sections of the GMAT which I attempted on this day. The data sufficiency practice set I attempted took me 40 minutes. I solved 15 questions in that time frame. I answered 13 of those questions correctly. The set consisted of 3 easy, 6 medium and 6 hard questions. I answered 1 medium and 1 hard question incorrectly. These were questions 12 and 14 on the practice set. On question 12, I made an error reading between the lines. This question talked about a group of participants who participated in activity A and activity B respectively. I made the error of not assuming that activity B was a subset of activity A. While this relationship between the 2 activities was not stated in the question, this was an assumption one can confidently make based on general awareness alone. For example, if activity A is a sport and activity B is football, then you can confidently treat football as a subset of sports even if the question does not state it explicitly. The lesson here is to not be afraid of applying logical relationships if they are very obvious. On question 14 also, I made a similar mistake. This question touched upon quantities such as a business's income and profit. I made the mistake of confusing the word income with profit and solved the question incorrectly. On the quant practice set, I answered 21 questions in 36 minutes. I answered 19 of these questions correctly. This practice set consisted of 11 easy, 6 medium and 4 hard questions. Interestingly, the questions I answered incorrectly were of easy and medium difficulty respectively. On the easy question, my mistake was not solving the question exhaustively and jumping to a conclusion. The lesson is to hold on to your guns and solve questions deliberately and exhaustively unless you are under severe time pressure. On question 16, I made a thought process error which in hindsight can be a hit or a miss. On a different day, I might have solved this question correctly. The lesson is just to maintain self-awareness and try to avoid errors made as I am flowing through problems. On the verbal practice set, I answered 23 questions in a span of 53 minutes. I answered 20 of those questions correctly. I made mistakes on 1 easy, 1 medium and 1 hard question. On all the 3 questions I answered incorrectly, I had difficulty wrapping my head around the given content. All 3 were critical reasoning questions. I have bookmarked them for a revisit closer to the exam. I want to conclude this video by pointing out that my performance across the 3 practice sets on this day wasn't ideal. I did poorly on both velocity and accuracy. But as you have learned from several of my previous videos, the online question bank is not the best at creating practice sets which can serve as a good measure of your GMAT performance, specifically from a velocity standpoint. Hence, if you run into an issue like this, remember that the only reliable indicator of your GMAT score is an official GMAT practice exam. In my case, I will start taking practice exams in a few days from now, and that should help me establish clearer expectations on my final GMAT score. So that is all for today. I will see you in the next video.